everyone, and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. Today we're following on from last week's career series. Last week we explored personality testing, different online tests you can use to find out a bit more about yourself or different careers that might interest you. We looked at visualization and how that can work. And at the end of that, we found a list of 10 different potential careers that might be something that you might like to do in the future. If you've missed last week's episode, feel free to check it out on our Facebook page. Today we're moving on to explore goal setting. So once you've narrowed it down to your preferred career, it's really important to look at how will I get there. Today we'll look at Locke's goal setting theory, but really you can do any that works for you. So using Locke's goal setting theory, we're going to set some short and long-term goals. So looking at the short-term goals, I want to look at what course is best for me, or if I don't need to study, what work experience is important for me to get. And the next thing as well is looking at would networking or professional membership benefit me at all going into this career? So there's some of the short-term goals you might like to look at. Where it comes to long-term goals, you're looking at where I want to be in 5 years' time. What kind of promotions could I get? And what employment conditions would I like to work towards? So what I thought we'd do is we'll go through the steps, and I do encourage you to go through these at home and take a little bit more time to think about each one so that you can come up with a plan for your short and long-term career goals. So step number 1 is S. So Locke's goal setting theory says that your goal should be specific because it's important to have specific goals so you can easily plan for it. So for example, if you want to be a carer, it's good to be specific about, do you want to work with children, do you want to work with people with disabilities, or would you like to work with the elderly? Because this will really affect what course you need to study or what work experience you need to get. A goal should also be measurable. So it's important to define what evidence you need to prove that you're making progress, and then how can you reevaluate this when necessary. So looking at evidence you need to see you're making progress, an example of this might be completing your first unit of a course or getting a good recommendation or good review from someone at the place that you're doing work experience. The next thing to look at is the goal attainable? So it's important to make the goal something that you can reasonably accomplish, because if it's something absolutely insane, like I want to be Prime Minister in 2 years, it's really, really unlikely you'll get there. I don't want to say never because never say never, but making those goals attainable is going to make you feel a lot better about it as you're hitting those milestones. So if you're looking at the career path for aged care, then maybe it's setting a realistic goal to finish your certificate in aged care. And it's also important to factor in that there's different goals for different people. And in order to make it attainable, you really need to look at the rest of your lifestyle. So realistically, how much spare time do I have to put into this? Do I need to have another job while I'm re-qualifying or training? Do I have kids to look after? Do I have other people to look after? Also factor in some me time. It's important that even if you're putting some energy behind the career, that you also don't lose out on all of the fun other things out there. So it might be that if you have a really busy life, you're working a lot, you have kids, you might set yourself 2 years to complete the certificate. And that's absolutely fine, because that's still getting you to your goal, and it's something that's attainable and isn't going to stress you out. The next important step to look at is the goal should be relevant. So your goal should align with your values and long-term objectives. So it's no point getting work experience, for example, in a retail store if you want to go into aged care, because while any work experience is good, it's not really that relevant to your long-term goals. So as you're setting your goals, make sure that they are relevant. The last step is to make sure that it's also a time-based goal. So you need to set an end date or a deadline, because this will help keep you motivated along the way and save you from getting halfway through and then being like, can't really be bothered, so maybe I'll finish that sometime in the future. So it's good to have a bit of a time frame to reevaluate how you're going with your goals. This will give you a chance to fine-tune them, figure out what hasn't been working, and also maybe extend the time frame if needed, but still continue working on that as required. So they're the 5 steps for setting goals. Just to recap, you're looking at a goal should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. You can find out more information about Locke's theory as well online. So I also encourage you to read up about this if you're someone that really likes learning about that. If you're someone who doesn't like that, absolutely fine. Get straight to the goals. So thanks so much for tuning in this week. Next week we're going to talk career skills. We'll be looking at resumes, cover letters, and job interviews. If that's something that's useful for you, I definitely encourage you to tune in. Otherwise, have a wonderful Monday.